Hello, friends, and welcome to Empower You 2 podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Paris, and I'm excited because you are in the building with me. You can be anywhere in the world, but you have chosen to be here with me, and I am so humbled and appreciative. Let me tell you about this show. Each and every single week, we continue to empower you to greatness that is truly going to help you, whether you are a person that have experienced a heartbreak, have gone through a divorce, or have endured levels of trauma of any kind, or you're just a person trying to rebuild their life and themselves, and now you are finally ready to live a life full of abundance, joy, and peace, then this show is for you. So with that said, thank you again for being here. I am extremely grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you because together we are empowered for greatness. You ready? Let's go. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Empower You 2 podcast. I am your host, Natasha Paris, the empowerment strategist, as well as the mental health therapist expert. And I am so delighted to come before you and to really talk to you about these amazing tips that I'm about to share with you. Because one thing I know for sure is that life can really give you some information on how to live better, right? Through experiences, through hardships, through difficulties, but also if you are consistent with knowing what you know, that your life is meant to be lived despite the difficulties, you will come out like pure gold, okay? Right? Because you know what they do with gold, right, my friends? They put it through the fire and it's heated, it's bent, it's pressed down, let me tell you, and it becomes what it is, gold and diamonds. So with that said, let's jump into this. Episode 67, and it is entitled Golden Tips for Having a Bountiful Life. Yes, a bountiful life. In other words, an abundant life. So I'm going to give you some golden tips and things that you can do right now, because I'm all about the right now, not the later, not the tomorrow, right? None of that, because the goal is to really create the life that you want for yourself in order for you to have what you want, right? And more often than not, we want a life that is abundant. We want a life that's successful. We want a life that's peaceful. We want a life that's full of joy and happiness. But what we know for sure that is not always the case. It's not always an easy, straight run, right? It is not always a straight path. What we know is that there's some bumps on the road. And let me say this, as a mother of 2 teenagers, as a girlfriend, as a divorcee, as an entrepreneur, as an executive leader in my own organization, of course, because I am the CEO and president of Natasha Paris Enterprises, I know for sure that things are not always easy. It's not always easy. And the reason why I chose this topic in particular is because I was watching a docuseries, and one of the things that this docuseries was talking about, and I'm not going to name it particularly, right? But one of the things that they were talking about is all of the struggles that this person is having in their life currently. And one of the things that I had to look at is how did they live their life prior to what is happening right now? And one of the things that they did was they were pretty messy, gossiping. They did a whole lot of things to hurt people's reputation and not just their reputation, but they did some things to hurt themselves. And now when you look at their life is full of weeds. It's full of devastation. It's full of hurt, betrayal. And so I often think of like other people that I've met when I've talked to my clients, because for those who don't know, and I've said it before, I am a licensed mental health therapist expert, and I've been in practice for about 25 years, right? 24 to 25 years. And I've seen many people from all socioeconomic statuses, in addition to races and religions and creeds. And what I know for sure is that one thing that's consistent is that it is so important that when you look at a person's life, you have to first say, what happened in the past? And I'm not sitting here to say that, that all that is happening in your life, you did it. No. But what I am saying is that you have to be very mindful of the seeds. Let's go there. I'm going to use this metaphor of the seeds that you plant into the universal ground. And when I say that, I mean that it is so important when I think of some of my clients and the struggles that they have in the current present moment. I wonder what happened in the past. And oftentimes when I wonder, I ask, right? Because I'm in the position to ask. I can ask and be very nosy. And what I come to realize is that what's consistent is the things that they've done in the past that have come to harvest. So when I talk about the seeds that you plant in the ground, I talk about how if you plant negative seeds in the ground, oftentimes you may not see it. And when I say negative seeds, I'm talking about backbiting. I'm talking about stealing. I'm talking about hurting people. I'm talking about betraying others. I talk about stealing. I'm talking about all of the things that you may do to someone that you don't think will ever come back to you. And I'm here to tell you, my friend, that it does. That when you plant seeds that are negative, just like when you plant positive seeds, like loving on individuals that often are unloved or can be a little bit unlovable, right? Come on, let's keep it 100. Or when you give to those in need, when you pray for others, when you show up and give your 120% of your energy and time to creating a business, as opposed to sitting back and, right, and allowing the business to run you, or you're sitting back not doing anything, right? And you don't reap the harvest from that. Well, you do. It's usually probably not so good, right? So when you think of planting seeds that are good, then you will get good things that may come up, not may, but will come up after it's been, given sunlight, after it has been given rain. You will see what you've planted. So just as much as good seeds are planted and you reap the wonderful, abundant harvest, there are things that we have to be mindful of when it comes to planting negative seeds. And so it's so vital for us to pay attention to that. So let's get into these golden tips that I have for you that's going to allow you to look at your life and make some decisions on whether you're going to do things differently, right? Because in order for you to live an abundant and bountiful life, there's some things that you first need to do. The first thing is you need to first cultivate a positive mindset. Right? And that means that you need to look at what kind of mindset do you have? When I say what kind of mindset do you have is, do you have a defeated mindset? Do you have a mindset that is not appreciative of the small things, right? And it's important for you to cultivate a positive mindset where you are finding yourself to be thankful for everything. 1, 2, holding on to the humble pie. You've met people who have it all and they are super cocky, super arrogant, super selfish, right? Even when you have it all, it's important for you to constantly have and possess levels of humility. That means being humble, right? And so it's important for you to have a positive mindset when you are living this life, right? being very intentional about the thoughts that you're thinking about, not entertaining negative energy, not entertaining negative thoughts, the thoughts that you have, not anyone else have placed in your mind, but the thoughts that you can't do anything right, or that you will not have success, or things will not go your way. Being very mindful of those things. That's number one. Number two, invest in relationships with family and friends. Oftentimes, what I've come to realize for those who have come into my office and people that I've come in contact with is that investing in relationships is vital, even if it is the person that is your neighbor. And the reason why I say that investing in relationships is vital is because of the fact that we don't walk this planet by ourselves. It's important for you to make an investment as small as saying good morning to your neighbors versus not saying anything at all, or when it's Christmas or the holidays and, stopping by and bringing them cookies or, just saying thank you so much for being my neighbor. Why is that important? Because if you don't invest in that relationship, as simple as just your neighbor, and you are in need or there's difficulties going on in your house and you need someone to come in and assist you or just watch over your house when you go on vacation, that will not take place. Because the thing is that when you don't invest in a relationship, it could come back to haunt you or hurt you. And so it is vital, my friends, for you to look at your relationships and invest in them. And how can you invest in a relationship, such as those with your family and friends, is by giving them a call and saying hello. It's by sending them a nice, simple card on their birthday, not asking for much, but sending them a card, right? It also is, if your friend is sick, going to visit them at the hospital or making a nice meal. If you have a talent like cooking, right? You have the skill of cooking, making them a plate and dropping it off, right? So it's important to invest in those relationships. Why? Because when you need something, right? Because the goal is, right, you're going to plant good seed on good fertile ground. So when you are looking to withdraw or you're looking to eat from that seed that you're planted, it will be available for you. Okay. The third point is it is so important for you to look at taking care of your physical and mental health through regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and self-care practices. I am a big proponent of physical and mental health, especially in the area of exercise and being able to be in a place where you practice self-care. Because oftentimes we do not, or I'll say we put our physical and our mental health on the back burner. We eat what we want, even though we know it's not good for us. We allow negative energy into our space, or we allow people to use us, and we keep saying yes, 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 when we know that we need a break. We know that we need to just sit back and just relax a little bit, right? We don't create boundaries. And when you do all those things that act against your physical and mental health, I'm going to tell you right now, you will not reap a good harvest. And I'm going to keep going back to that metaphor of planting seeds and reaping a harvest. Why? Because it's important for us to be very intentional about our physical health. If you want to be healthy and you want to be able to be flexible and have energy and endurance, it's about what you put in your body, right? And they often say that what you do in your 30s and 40s when it comes to physical health, right, or even your 50s will prepare you for how you will live in your 70s, 80s, and 90s. Will you have difficulty walking? Will you have lots of pain, right? If you don't put in the work now, I'm talking to my young folks under the age of 50, or 55. If you don't put in the work now, you will pay the piper later. Okay. And so it's important for you to really make sure that your physical health, based on your exercise, based on what you eat, right? Based on sleeping patterns, it's important for you to use that time where you dedicate that time for you. And then when it comes to your mental health, stress reduction is important. Not allowing people to trample over your time, not respect your time, and not respect your boundaries. And so it's so vital for you to be in a place where your mental health is so important, right? Taking time for breaks, taking time to dance around the house. You know what I say. I've said it in my other episodes about finding joy in the midst of difficulties. Oh, that's a really good one. That's one of my first, actually, it is my first episode ever. Okay. And that's a really good episode. Number 4. Okay. So let's talk about giving back. It is so vital for you to give back to your community through volunteering or just acts of kindness. Acts of kindness. You know, I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you've encountered someone walking up to you asking for money, right? Yeah. I mean, oftentimes we're like, no, I'm not going to give it because they're going to use it for drugs or alcohol. But if you have it, your job is not to decide where it goes. Your job is to give, okay? Or as simple as when you're at the grocery store and you're in line to purchase your products or your food, right? And you see someone behind you only having 2 items and you have a good 20. Do you let them in front of you and say, you know what? You can go ahead of me and you can pay for your 2 purchases, right? Your 2 items. Or do you also, do you also say, you know what? I'll take care of that tab. Or do you pay for someone as you're going through the toll booth and say, I got the person behind me? Just small acts of kindness. Small acts of kindness, right? I mean, and it's in those moments that you are putting and depositing love and energy into the universal law of people, right? Because we are spiritual beings living a human existence. And every time we come in contact with someone, we're coming in contact with their physical body, right? Their flesh, but we're really engaging with their spirit. And what level of kindness can you give back? Or do you volunteer? Volunteer your time at a homeless shelter? Or do you volunteer your time to talking to someone at work when you know that they're having a difficult time? When you know you have a lot of work to do, but you decide to say, let me sit with this person and pray with them just because they are having a tough time. It is in those moments that you have a bountiful life. In addition, my last point is number 5. Is, do you enjoy the present moment and practice living in the now? Practice living in the now, my friends. Oftentimes we are focused on what didn't happen, what did happen, right? We're in the past, we're in the future, but we're not in the present moment. We are not looking at the great things that this life has to offer. And even if things are not well in your life, making a decision to say, I'm going to be present in the moment. I am going to be happy in the moment. I'm going to celebrate good things that are happening in my life, the big and not so big. And so my point is this, my friends, is that it's so vital for you to stay in the present, right? Stop looking at what happened yesterday. Look, if you didn't know, you cannot change the past. I'm coming to tell you, you cannot change the past. All you can do is learn from the past and move forward. And every time that you wake up in the morning, there is a reset button that is pressed that says you can reset your life today because you woke up. And so, my friends, I want you to understand that there are ways to have a bountiful life. And I'm giving you the golden nuggets. I'm giving you some golden tips in which to follow. And these tips are things that you can do right now. Not tomorrow, not later, not after you watch your favorite show on Netflix. I'm just being really honest, right? We always put away or put to the side things that we have to do for ourselves, and then we regret it later. Okay, so with that said, let's summarize what we learned and what were the golden nuggets for today. Okay, the first thing is, as I said, and I've been using the metaphor of planting good seed, right? Good seed, because if you plant good seed, you'll get hopefully good fruits and vegetables, right? That's the metaphor. But if you plant not so good seeds, you will get weeds and you will get things that are rotten. And then you'll complain and say, wait a minute, what happened? What's going on with my life? I don't know what happened. Why is this, that? I mean, come on now. We have to be very mindful. And so the way to cultivate a bountiful life, the first thing is you need to cultivate a positive mindset. You need to practice gratitude, and also you need to start speaking positivity into your own life. Don't wait for anyone to do it for you. The second is, it is so important for you to do what? Is to invest in relationships with your family, friends, neighbors. Take a moment to be nice. Take a moment to spend time with those you care about. And the ones that you may not care about too much, you could be cordial. You could be cordial, right? That can be hard at times, but you're planting good seed. You're planting it on fertile ground. The third is, it's important for you to take care of your physical and mental health. I, as a mental health therapist expert, have been for the past 24 to 25 years. I know this to be true, that if you take time to say, let me look at what I'm doing with my physical health. What am I eating? Am I sleeping well? Am I exercising regularly? And when it comes to your mental health, it's so important for you to set boundaries, my friends. Look at stress and say, I'm not going to allow this stress to take over me. I'm going to look at minimizing my stress, reducing all of the things that causes levels of anxiety and worry. Okay, right? Our next point is, it's so important for you to do what? Give back to the community through volunteering and acts of kindness. Giving back to a stranger, being kind, and it could be just a smile and saying good morning. How are you doing? And when the person responds, really giving them that attention, that time, right? Because oftentimes we ask people how they're doing, but we really don't care how they're doing. But mean it this time. Mean it the next time that you speak to someone, and be attentive. Like, look at them in their face, in their eyes, and listen to their response. That can make a world of a difference, And my last point is it's important for you to enjoy the present moment and practice living in the now and celebrating your wins. If you can live in the now, celebrate your wins, as opposed to looking at all of the things that didn't happen, the would-haves, the could-haves, the should-haves, you will not have a bountiful life, because you'll be living in the past. And you're spending your time that you can't get back on energy that does not serve you. I'm going to say that again, my friends. You end up spending time that you can't get back on energy that does not serve you. And so it's important for you to manage your time and really be present in the moment. And so you know how I do, right? If you've listened to my previous episodes, I always give an assignment, an empowerment assignment, something that you can do right now. Like all of the things that I've asked you to do, these golden tips, I want you to do right now. But I want you to be very interactive with this particular assignment. Is I want you to say hello and smile to at least 10 people today. That's being intentional. That's planting good seeds. Just say good morning or good afternoon and smile And you can add, how are you doing? And listen to their response as opposed to just moving to the next thing. Okay? Just 10 people. Choose 10 people that you will speak to the next day after listening to this podcast or the same day, right? And smile. Not a fake smile, not a, the Joker smile that looks a bit creepy, but a gentle, kind smile. And ask them, how are they doing? And wait for their response. So that is the empowerment assignment, because my goal is to continue to move you in the direction of purpose, to continue to have you become the best version of yourself. It is not an easy task, but it's a task worth achieving, and it's a journey worth traveling. And so with that said, I am your girl, Natasha Paris, and I'm so excited that you allowed me to speak to you today. And thank you so much. If this information resonated with you, go to your favorite platform and hit the 5-star button and share your insights and feedback on this particular episode. In addition, you know what I say. I want you to be empowered for greatness, because without greatness, there's no you. And without you, there's no greatness. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye. If you are loving this content and our time together as we become empowered for greatness, and you want to connect with me more, I would love for you to come and check out my Self-Empowerment Scholars. It's my monthly empowerment sessions where we take all of the materials learned on the podcast and apply it and study it and take it to the next level. So join me over at Empower You, the letter U, 2, right? The number 2.com/join, or you can text the word empower to 571-464-6511. That's text the word empower to 571-464-6511. Also, if you've ever gained an ounce of wisdom or the episode resonated with you, I simply ask that you do 4 things. The first is I want you to subscribe right now if you have not done so already. The second is I want you to hit that 5-star button on your favorite platform. The third is I want to hear from you. I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear how it has resonated for you. In addition, the last, I want you to share this message with someone. It allows us to spread the message of empowerment to those who are desperately in need. So I look forward to seeing you on the next episode, and I want you to be what? Empowered for greatness. See you soon. Bye.